The 90% silver commemoratives that ran from 1892 to 1954 is a hot series for collectors. And with the amount of counterfeits being discovered from the motherland of all fakes in China, buyers have to be especially careful these days. Now, I'm going to go over two of the more popular coins and provide some tips to protect yourself, so stay tuned. What's shaking YouTube? How you doing? Welcome to another edition of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. This is episode number 91. And as always, I'd like to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out the new video. And if you'd like to help support this channel, then why not click on that thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I can't thank you all enough for the amazing support you've given this channel. You guys have Silver and Gold Stack Attack making that climb to 1,000 subscribers, and that is just mind-blowing to me on all counts. Never expected that, but thank you. Alright, so the 90% Silver Commemorative series is on fire, and most of them don't sell on the cheap side either. Now, if you recall, this series started with the Columbian Exposition coin in 1892 and 1893, and it just went on through 1954 with somewhere around 48 coins, I believe. Be sure to check out my recent video on the Columbian coin if you haven't seen it already. There have been some amazing issues in this series, with some of them being fairly limited, and a lot of them are really pricey. It's going to be an ambitious endeavor to take on this series to completion. Either way, these are highly coveted by collectors, and the Chinese have upped their game in replicating them. It's really concerning because a lot of collectors don't educate themselves, and they get taken by these things. I knew what they were when I bought them. Hell, they were $3 a piece, and the seller represented them as just that, cheap imitations. But I collect the real versions, and I do the research to make sure I'm not getting duped. Another risk is that some of these knockoffs could inadvertently slip from one collection where they know it's fake to another where they don't know it's fake. That's really the crappy part of these counterfeits, among other things. Anyway, the two commemoratives we're going to go over today are the very popular Pilgrim Tercentenary coin, which you see right here. Great design. I like this one a lot. This was made in 1920. And we also have the 1925 Stone Mountain. These are the two more popular coins in the series, mostly because of the design and their availability and their price. There are a couple of the cheaper ones out there. But look, guys, these are fakes. Okay, we're going to be right up front, and I'm going to let you know these are both fakes. They look great, but they are not real. They're not real. And don't try the magnet on them, the rare earth magnet, any of that stuff. That won't work. Pinging them, you won't get the same sound, that's for sure. But the rare earth magnet does not work, so that's not a good example. They're actually fairly decently made to the non-discerning eye, but they are far from perfect, and we're going to call them out in this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you're into the commemorative series. I'd love to hear from you. Now, the first commemorative we're going to cover is the 1925 Stone Mountain coin. This is a 90% silver coin with an actual silver weight of 0.3617 troy ounces of silver. The mintage was 1,314,709. The obverse features Generals Robert E. Lee and General Thomas Stonewall Jackson mounted on their horses, and the reverse depicts an eagle perched on a rock. So again, this was issued in 1925. The denomination is 50 cents. It was minted in Philadelphia, and these coins were sold to raise funds to complete the Stone Mountain Monument. And I'm going to go over some quick details about Stone Mountain right here. This commemorative $50 was actually designed by Gutzon Borglum, who is actually reported to have close ties to the KKK. Borglum was the first sculptor hired to carve Stone Mountain. He would later carve Mount Rushmore. In 1924, though, Borglum was thrown off the Stone Mountain project by its backers in Atlanta after he was bitching about issues with the site in a local newspaper, and because he'd been approached about designing the Mount Rushmore Memorial. He had only just finished carving Robert E. Lee's head when he left. And Borglum would be replaced with sculptor Henry Augustus Lukeman, who worked until 1928 when the funds ran out. The project would go unfinished for decades until work was resumed around 1964, and the monument was finally completed by Walker Hancock and Roy Faulkner in 1972. All that being said, the mountain sculpture certainly isn't without controversy. It was purchased by anti-segregation Governor Marvin Griffin in 1958. Griffin intended the new state park to be a monument to the South of the past and to stagger the civil rights movement in the region. It's been said that Stone Mountain was the birthplace of the KKK, and the carving just doesn't sit well with some Georgians who've called for its destruction. But there's a catch. A portion of a state law that was passed during the furor that stripped the Georgia flag of its Confederate stars and bars explicitly protects the carving from, quote, being altered, removed, concealed, or obscured in any fashion for all time, unquote. In other words, it's not going anywhere, especially since it's on privately owned property. All right, let's take a look at the obverse of the Stone Mountain coin. We're looking at a total loss of detail when you look at the fake on the left and the real one on the right. But the clearest part is the horse's tail and hindquarters here. It's completely different. Not even the same. And if you look, there's a little set of initials here. They're not there. The heads of the horses are all wrong. All wrong. The sword is even wrong. Look at all the details that are missing. And it's just not right. Lee's jacket and his arm, I mean, it's not a good thing here. Not a good thing. It's pretty obvious when you look at this. Now let's take a look at the reverse with the eagle. The eagle is missing almost all details, especially in the wing area. It's not even close. It's not even close. The stone is missing all the details. Some of them are there, most of them aren't. There's missing stars on the left and left center. If you look here and you look over here, they're gone. Nothing. The typeset, even the typeset is just it's too fat. It's too pudgy. You know, it doesn't look clean like this over here. The relief is relatively good on this, so these stars that are missing should be showing, and they're not. All right, let's move on to coin number 2. This is the 1920 Pilgrim Tercentenary, $50. This was issued to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the landing of the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts. And it was actually struck for 2 years, with the 1920 issue showing no date on the obverse, and those made in 1921 did show a date. And you can find that just to the left of Governor William Bradford. You'd see a 1921. The designer was Cyrus Dallin, who was a Boston engraver. And if you look on the obverse between $50, you can see a little D there. That's his mark. It's not a mint mark for Denver. Again, it was issued in 1920. Denomination is 50 cents. It was minted in Philadelphia. Purity is 90% silver, and the actual silver weight is 0.3617 troy ounces. The obverse depicts Pilgrim Governor William Bradford carrying his Bible. The reverse features the design of the Mayflower, which, oddly enough, went off course and landed at Plymouth Rock, completely by accident. The 1920 issue had a run of 200,112, and the 1921 issue was limited to just 100,000. Now, allegedly, only 20,000 of the 1921s are left in existence. And a lot of reason for that was the recession of 1921, which began soon after the coin was issued. Sales dropped, and tens of thousands of both dates remained unsold. The Tricentenary Commission returned 48,000 of the 1920s to the mint, leaving just about maybe 150,000 out there. And 80,000 were returned of the 1921 issue, leaving just at 20,000 out there. So you definitely want to find one of the 1921s if you can, since they're far more rare. And here's a picture of that 1921 with the date. They're not especially difficult to find, but when you do find them, they're not going to be cheap. I've seen examples of these from $200 and up, depending on condition. All right, for this one, we're just going to focus on Governor Bradford himself, because that's where most of the mistakes are easily found. If we look at the hat details, they don't quite connect here on this corner here. The lines aren't as sharp; they're just dull. The hair details they're all gone. You can see where there's far more definition here. The beard, all wrong. His beard is a lot sharper on the real version here, and you can see where it's been rounded off here. The shirt front, completely different. Bible pages, Look at how defined they are here. Not even here. Gone. And the arm details, if we can look at that too. All these details on the shoulder are just gone. They're missing. So this isn't one of the Chinese dude's best work. It's really easy to pick this one apart. All right, let's take a look at the reverse. This side's even easier. Most details are missing, to include the sails, the rigging, the masts. Sideboards are just about completely gone. The stern of the ship, that's where you're going to find most of the problems. This is the real one here. You can see how nicely detailed that is. And this one is just terrible. All right, it's none of the details match. It's way off. The biggest thing here is the ocean waves. You can see where there's so much detail here, and they're just gone here. They don't match at all. Yeah, most of the features just line up badly in comparison. This one's a no-brainer if you know what you're looking for. All right, let's go over some buying tips if you plan on getting into this series. Again, there are some really affordable ones, but if you want to complete this collection, you're going to be putting out some money, so make sure you know what you're getting into. All right, number one, buy from legit dealers. Use caution on eBay and other online platforms. That's where all the fakes are coming from, these online platforms. Study a known legitimate coin of what you get ready to buy and become thoroughly familiar with it before you buy it. Have a picture of that coin with you and do the comparisons. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Make sure you point out any concerns you have before you buy. Look for unnatural toning and artificial antiquing / swipe lines. The two I showed you earlier, completely artificially toned. It's just a chemical dip. And never buy from Etsy or other crafty online shops. Etsy is awful. They're completely known for putting out fake stuff. And if the price is too good to be true, well, it probably is. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this 91st episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. Hope you enjoyed that one. Again, just be really careful if you decide to get into these. Do your research. Know what you're looking at. I would hate to see anybody pay good money for these ridiculously cheaply made fakes coming out of China. It'd be a damn shame. Anyway, I will catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, what you gonna do? Damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe. Be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, people. Watch out for those fakes.